Between 1978 and 1995, 3 people were killed and 23 others injured in terrorist attacks by one of the most extreme anti-technology activists of modern time. Ted Kaczynski, also known as the Unabomber, conducted a reign of terror through targeting academics and airlines with homemade bombs until his arrest in 1996. His issue? He fervently believed that we've lost our way as a society with our increasing reliance on and subservience to technology. Watch or read enough science fiction, and you'll be forgiven for thinking that techno-terrorism is a major threat in today's society, and that groups like Transcendence's Rift are an increasingly likely phenomenon. Despite this, though, it's remarkably hard to find evidence for widespread techno-terrorism in real life. Yet dig deep enough, and small but worrying pockets of violent resistance against technological progress do begin to surface, often closely allied to techno-terrorism's close cousin, eco-terrorism. In 2002, James F. Jarboe, then Domestic Terrorism Section Chief of the FBI's Counter-Terrorism Division, testified before a House subcommittee on the emerging threat of eco-terrorism. In his testimony, he identified the Animal Liberation Front, or ALF, and Earth Liberation Front, or ELF, as serious terrorist threats, and claimed that they were responsible at the time for, and I quote, more than 600 criminal acts in the United States since 1996, resulting in damages in excess of $43 million, but no deaths. Jarboe's testimony traces the recent history of eco-terrorism back to the Sea Shepherd Conservation Society, a disaffected faction of the environmental activist group Greenpeace that formed in the 1970s. Then, in the 1980s, a new direct action group, Earth First, came into prominence, spurred by Rachel Carson's 1962 book Silent Spring and a growing dissatisfaction with ineffective protests against the ravages of industrialization. Earth First was known for their unpleasant habit of inserting metal or ceramic spikes into trees scheduled to be cut for lumber, leaving a rather nasty and potentially fatal surprise for those felling or milling them. In the 1990s, members of Earth First formed the group ELF and switched tactics to destroying property using timed incendiary devices. Groups such as ELF and Earth First, together with their underlying concerns over the potentially harmful impacts of technological innovation, clearly provide some of the inspiration for Rift. Yet beyond the activities of these two groups, which have been predominantly aimed at combating environmental harm rather than resisting technological change, it's surprisingly hard to find examples of substantial and coordinated techno-terrorism. Today's Luddites, it seems, are more comfortable breaking metaphorical machines from the safety of their academic ivory towers rather than wreaking havoc in the real world. Yet there are still a small number of individuals and groups who are motivated to harm others in their fight against emerging technologies and the risks that they believe they represent.